So, what are the types of innovation? Basically, there are 5 types of innovation. The very first one is market process. Okay, how exactly do you process in the market? Is there any new market that you find out? Say, for example, Fair and Lovely. You had only one market for that, that is the female. They used to target only female, but then they came up with the second market, that is the male. Then you have product market, what kind of products, which market do they shelf off into. Then you have supply source, which of the market is very good into supply. जहाँ पे मैंने supply किया वहाँ पे demand rise हुआ उसका. Okay. Then you have financial market, you have cultural market, and you have brand positioning market. Okay. Now basically what exactly is the qualities in a creative person? That means what are the qualities that an entrepreneur should have if he's a creative person. Very first one, he should be sensitive, should be very fluency, like whenever he is talking to people, his creativity should be approached. Okay. Third one is flexibility. Fourth one is originality. Whatever idea he comes up should be original enough, and then it should be an organization process. Okay. Then you have business idea and sources. When and how do you get business idea? Why do you think all these people around who are entrepreneurs come up with this very quick and nice business ideas? The very first one is personal experience. Second, business experience, the past business that he or she has done. Third is the market research. Fourth is the brainstorming. Okay, we have already learned and seen what is brainstorming. Then you have environmental scanning. Environmental scanning basically depends upon two things. One is micro factor and the second one is macro factor. Micro factor basically means your laborers and your employees and your customers and everything. Macro is your suppliers, your government and your stakeholders. Okay. Then you have SWOT analysis. Strength, weakness, threat and opportunity. Strength means what are the strengths that you as a business person or a company can have. Weakness is what are your own weaknesses related to the company because you represent your company. Opportunity, what are the opportunities in the market or through the competitor. And the fourth one is your threat, like किससे मुझे धोखा हो सकता है in the competition. Then you have entrepreneur development cycle. The very first one is sustaining. It's very, very important for you to sustain in the market. Okay. Next is support. You need to have a lot of support from the government, suppliers, stakeholders and the customers. And the last one is simulatory. Basically here you need to sustain from the start to the end. The next thing that we have is business planning process. Okay, basically there are 5 steps in this process. The very first one is idea generation, where your idea generates when you take the initiative. The second one is environment scanning, which you have already seen. You just need to remember 2 concepts, micro factors and macro factors. The third one is feasibility analysis. How feasible can your project be? If something happens, if plan A doesn't go well, how will you come up with plan B? The fourth one is project report preparation. You need to prepare a project like a report kind of a thing. And the fifth one has to be evaluation and your review. Okay. Then you have ownership types. There are 4 types of ownership: sole proprietor, partnership, your company and your joint venture, or say joint venture. Okay. Sole proprietor is the one who is handling the whole process solely. I am sure you all must have done this in your 12th standard OC. Then you have partnership. Okay, partnership basically means when 2 people come together. You have your own company where you are handling everything, and then you have your joint venture. Joint venture basically means when the government and one private company comes together, for example, project of Mod3. Okay. Then you have scheduling and milestones. I have given you a nice easy language slide here. Scheduling basically means it is an art of your activities where you plan everything in a systematic manner, and milestone is when you actually get those steps done. Okay, like when you achieve something really big. Okay. The venture development process means when you start with a new setup. Okay, when you start with a new setup, you need to develop it. How will you develop it? There are certain steps. The very first one is identifying which business you need to choose. The second one is evaluation. Once you choose your business, start evaluating it. How will you put it into implementation? The third one is selection. Fourth one is decision of location. Where will be your location? Fifth one is develop a nice smart business plan. Determine the resources that are required. Okay, like what all things are required. Arrangement of resources, किधर कौन सा resources होना चाहिए. Then you have implementation, and the last one is your follow-up. Okay, then you have certain institutional support that entrepreneurs get. The very first one is SIDBI, Small Industrial Development Bank of India. This is a bank who promotes small developments like small entrepreneurs. Then you have EXIM. EX stands for export and IM stands for import. People who are getting into import export are being supported by this. You have NABARD, that is your National Agricultural Board for Development. Then you have LIC, commercial banks, and some SIDBIs again. Okay. The last part that we have here is fixed and working capital. I have given you a difference between the fixed and the working capital. Fixed capital basically means they are into long term. Okay, they need a lot of money because everything is fixed. Their asset is fixed. The remaining business can sunk. Okay, because it is a long term process. The money is being raised by debentures and term loans and shares. Okay, when you see the working capital, it is a very short term process. यहाँ पे money current assets से ज़्यादा आता है. The money revolves in business itself because it is a short term process, and the money is raised by trade credit, shares, debentures and bank.